Imagine pouring your heart, your sweat, your nights and days into a crowdfunding campaign, convinced this is your breakthrough, your chance to change everything, and then hitting a wall so hard it feels like the ground itself betrayed you. A wall of silence, broken promises, and hidden traps no one warned you about. This isn't just a story about projects that failed. It's a deeper, darker reality hiding behind the shiny facade of crowdfunding, the harsh truth that almost no one dares to speak. And it's crushing dreams, burning passion, and draining the soul of founders, investors, and dreamers alike. You've felt it before, haven't you? That gut punch when after launching your campaign, the initial rush dies down and suddenly the silence is deafening. Where are the backers? Where is the buzz? Why does it feel like you're shouting into a void? You start questioning everything, your idea, yourself, your worth. The very platform meant to lift you up feels like a trap, a performance stage rigged with invisible strings that pull and snap. Crowdfunding promises freedom, but too often it delivers chains. Here's the brutal truth. The crowdfunding world you see, the campaigns that go viral, the success stories plastered on every banner, those are only the brightest lights hiding the vast shadows beneath. For every shining victory, there are dozens of founders stuck in limbo, struggling with invisible forces dragging them down. The system was never built for you, not really. It was designed to take from the many to feed the few, to reward the loudest and the flashiest, while the genuine, the radical, the revolutionary ideas get lost, ignored, or stolen. But it's not just about the money. The real dark side is the isolation. When your campaign sputters, you're suddenly alone. The networks become deserts. The partnerships evaporate. The so-called community feels like a crowded room where no one sees you. Investors start to doubt, friends distance, and the weight of expectation turns into a lonely prison. This isolation is not accidental. It's baked into the system that craves conformity, easy profits, and safe bets, not bold moves and wild ideas. If you dare to be different, you become a misfit, a risk, a problem. And what about control? The storytelling, the marketing, the endless updates. Crowdfunding demands you become a performer on a shifting stage. Your vision becomes a product packaged and repackaged in bite-sized chunks, shaped to please unknown algorithms, fickle audiences, and invisible gatekeepers. You're forced to negotiate your creativity for clicks, engagement, and superficial metrics. Your story, your truth, gets diluted until it's unrecognizable. A shadow play where authenticity is the first victim. Investors feel this pain too. The democratization of investment suddenly means sifting through noise, scams, and hype without real infrastructure or support. The promise of easy access to innovation turns into a minefield where true potential is buried beneath a flood of mediocrity and manipulation. They're left chasing signals in static, isolated from genuine breakthroughs and visionary founders who don't fit the mold or the marketplace trends. So, how to break free from this nightmare disguised as opportunity? How to step off the exhausting treadmill of hoping, hustling, and performing just to survive? The answer is simple, but revolutionary. Find your tribe, not the crowd, not the masses, but the few who ignite your fire instead of extinguishing it. Crowdfunding isn't about being popular. It's about being potent. The power isn't in the number of backers. It's in the quality of connection and alignment. First, rejection is your ally, not your enemy. Every no filters out the noise and points you closer to the right yes. The problem is most founders treat it as failure, so they chase popularity like addicts chasing a high. Instead, embrace the discomfort of rejection as the compass for your true path. Learn who resonates with your core, who burns with the same fire, who understands the unspoken struggles and aspirations hidden beneath polished pitches. Second, tell the brutal truth. Forget marketing cliches and shallow promises. Speak raw, vulnerable, real, because authenticity is magnetic. People don't fund ideas. They fund humans, emotions, struggle, and triumph. Your story isn't just a sales pitch, it's the lifeblood of your campaign. When you dare to expose your dark moments, your fears, and your fierce resolve, you create a deeper connection that no algorithm or shiny video can fake. Third, reject the logic of scale that rules crowdfunding platforms. Bigger isn't better if bigger means diluted, noisy, and meaningless. Focus on building fierce, tight-knit communities around your vision, no matter how small. These communities are your fortress against the chaos, your source of strength, critique, and support. Don't settle for fleeting viral moments. Build relationships that endure beyond the campaign, that fuel your journey long after the spotlight fades. Fourth, invest in your own sovereignty as a founder or investor. That means critical thinking, refusing to be boxed into existing frameworks, and unlearning every convenience handed by the system. True freedom comes from understanding that no platform, no investor, no backer defines your value. Only you do. Train yourself to see through the illusions, question every assumption, and design your own path relentlessly. Sovereignty is your weapon against manipulation and mediocre compromise. Fifth, patience is the secret weapon overlooked by almost everyone chasing instant wins. The most explosive progress happens over time, through persistent refinement, learning, and recalibration. Crowdfunding is often mistaken for a quick fix or a magic wand, bringing frustration and burnout. Instead, treat it as a marathon, not a sprint. Build with the long game in mind, knowing that enduring success isn't about the flashiest campaign. It's about sustainable impact cultivated over years. Sixth, don't just chase funding, chase alignment. Funding without alignment, a shared vision, mutual trust, and complementary values is a poison. It kills creativity, autonomy, and the very spark that made your idea worth fighting for. Seek investors and backers who resonate deeply with your mission, who are willing to ride the wild waves with you, not just who write big checks. This alignment turns money from a leash into rocket fuel. Finally, understand that your struggle is part of a greater movement, not just your personal hustle. The system is built to keep ordinary stuck, comfortable, compliant. It fears the exceptional, the rare, the disruptors. Your drive to build and invest beyond limits taps into a collective rebellion, a rebellion that refuses to wait for permission, that burns instead of bends, that dares to redefine reality itself. This movement isn't loud noise. It's the quiet force gathering power in shadows, ready to reshape the future by connecting the few who share the fire. So don't waste your energy fighting invisible rules and broken platforms, hoping they will change. Instead, cultivate your circle of brilliance, the few firebrands who challenge, inspire, and raise you higher. Nurture radical trust and fierce collaboration there, and watch how the darkness turns into your fuel. The dark side of crowdfunding isn't the end. It's the call to transcend the system, to create new infrastructure where misaligned brilliance becomes aligned power, where isolation turns into unstoppable synergy. There's no shortcut, no magic formula, no perfect platform waiting to save you. The secret isn't in crowdfunding itself. It's in reclaiming yourself as a founder, investor, a creator who refuses to be a cog in the machine. You're not here to fit into a broken system. You're here to build the new one from scratch. One funded not by multiplication of followers, but by multiplication of impact. One where your freedom and sovereignty are not a promise, but a reality. This is how the few, the rare, the misunderstood become the unstoppable. Remember, you're already part of this wave. Every minute spent feeling stuck or isolated is minute fuel for your rebel fire. Don't fall for the comfort of silence or the illusion of easy fame. Burn instead. Burn with vision, with grit, with unrelenting refusal to settle for borrowed life. This isn't just crowdfunding. This is the battlefield of your true freedom. Fight for it with everything you have. Because on the other side of this darkness is not failure, It's your liberation.